Alright folks, welcome back. It's been a while. Just gonna be doing some maintenance on the truck. Gotta change out the oil. It's been a little while. I think it's got about 6,000 miles on this oil at least, but it burns so much oil that I just keep going through it. But anyway, just gonna show you how I do some maintenance, especially for those of you who don't know how to change their oil. I'll just walk you through step by step. It's a pretty quick and easy process. Takes about 30 minutes at most to do all this, but yeah, let's do it. All right, well, the first thing is obviously to locate your oil pan. Ours is right here behind the front drive shaft here. And then of course you got to figure out what socket or wrench is going to fit on it. It just seems like 18 millimeters too small. It's been a little while since I've done this. So I don't remember off the top of my head. So we'll try our 19 millimeter and we'll get her loose and then drop down the bolt. I'm also going to position the oil pan here. Sorry, the catch pan, if you will. That way we don't make a mess. Give me a second. So we got our socket and our 1/2 inch ratchet here. Loosen her up just a bit. I like to press up while I do this, that way it doesn't leak as much oil as possible. Put the hole for the catch pan right underneath of it because it comes out pretty quick, at least in a diesel. In cars it's not too bad, but this sucker holds about 12.5 quarts of fluid, so it's gonna be a lot pouring out here. Not too bad. A little bit of spillage. Always have some shop towels ready. That way you can clean off the plug. Set that off to the side. Alright, so we're gonna let that drain out a little bit here, and now we need to find the oil filter, which is usually close by. On the 2008 Dodge Cummins, it is actually on the passenger side, and I'll flip around the camera so you can see that. Also, on a windy day, you gotta be careful with this oil because it will blow all over the place. Alright, so we flip sides here, and we're also in front of the drive shaft and the axle now. And here we go. You can see that the oil filter is hidden all the way up in here. Now you can try to get access up through the wheel well of the passenger side up in the front, or you can just, you know, get up in here and try to unscrew it by hand. If need be, I do also have a handy dandy oil filter wrench that has definitely been very useful when I need it. So I'm gonna get up in here and loosen her up. And here's what it looks like through the wheel well here. Focus. Oil filter is back in there. Come on, son. You can do it. There we go. So there's the oil filter hanging back in here. Doesn't want to focus because there's so much going on here. It's right through the wheel well. I'm going to try to get my wrench on it through here and loosen her up. Alrighty, we got her loosened up. Just going to move the catch pan down here. That way we can catch the oil well. However, first, gonna put back on the plug. That way this stops dripping and doesn't make a mess on the road. Because yes, my truck is out on the road currently. So it's not all the way tight, but tight enough to where it's not going to drip anymore. So we moved the catch pan over here, and let's drop down this oil filter. Let's try to hold it as vertical as possible. There's going to be oil inside of the oil filter. Oh, there we go. Let's calm it down. On gasoline vehicles, these filters are much smaller, but on diesel vehicles, they're not. Pretty large. So there you go. You can tip it over once you get it down to your catch pan. That way you don't make too much of a mess. As far as as far as trying to put everything back and fill it up with oil, all you gotta do is just make sure you got the right oil filter. What my dad has always taught me is to put some oil on the gasket here, that rubber O-ring that's going around. It looks black. And then also on the threads. Then we got to get it all the way back up in there. You can kind of see that's where it's supposed to go, up in there. You also want to make sure that the previous black O-ring is not on there. Definitely have made that mistake before, and oil will spray everywhere. So we'll oil this up and we'll put it back up in there, and then we'll tighten down on the bolt for the oil pan. So we got the oil filter back up in here. You only want to make it hand tight. You don't want to make it any tighter than that. And yep, that rubber O-ring was not there, which is good, so shouldn't make a mess. All I got to do now is tighten back down with my 19mm here. Again, not super duper tight, but you know, tighter than hand tight. That way it does not leak any oil, and then we can fill her back up. All right, well, the oil is completely drained out, which is great, and it's definitely time for me to empty out my catch pan. But and then the new oil filter is in, along with the oil pan bolt. So we are now going to put some oil back in the engine. You also got to find where you add the oil in. For our 6.7, it's right here at the top. So I'll take off this cap and start pouring in. And it's also really handy to know how much oil capacity it takes, which for, again, a 2008 Dodge Cummins 6.7 takes 12 quarts. So the really handy thing here is that they do sell larger quantities of diesel oil, which is 15W40. Here it is. And 3 gallons should be enough. There's 4 quarts in a gallon. 4 times 3 is 12, so it's perfect as long as we get it all in there. So first time ever using this kind of system to, I don't know, fill her up, but shouldn't go that bad, I think. Loosened up the valve here, and now she's pouring in. That's simple. Very simple. Good stuff. Just gonna pull the bag out of the box, the way I know I got all of the oil out of the bag. Easy peasy. All right, from here, it's always good to check to see if you have enough oil. So, even though it says it was 12 quarts, just pull out the dipstick here, give it one good wipe down. That way we get an accurate reading. You'll see on the dipstick on the dipstick there is a reading for what is safe for the truck. So as long as it is in that zone, we are good to go. Push it all the way back in, pull it all the way back out. And we are definitely good. Maybe overfull. Maybe we'll let it settle. We can always recheck. Because if it's overfilled, I might need to drain some out. And to be fair, we did not fill up the oil filter either, and that will take some oil. So yeah, it's definitely over full right now. We'll check back in a little bit. It's always a good idea to make sure that you check all of your other fluids, like your coolant or the reservoir for your coolant, windshield washer fluid, brake fluid in the back here. But again, it's good to check all of your fluid, make sure that it is good. And I have checked them, and we are good to rock and roll. So we'll get her started up, but there you go. That is how you change the oil in the truck. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you in the next one.